Let's get right to it. This isn't just another headline or a routine news update. What happened next would send shockwaves through every capital on the planet. On January 4, 2026, while most of us were still tossing out Christmas trees and making half-hearted resolutions, the US military stunned the world by capturing Venezuela's President Nicolás Maduro. It was a move no one saw coming, not even the most seasoned analysts. In a flash, Maduro, long the face of defiant anti-Americanism and a symbol of resistance in Latin America, was in US custody. The White House wasted no time, announcing that America would run Venezuela for a while. The world watched, stunned, as the US flag was raised over Caracas. The official story? Dismantle powerful drug cartels, restore democracy and stabilize a country that's been teetering on the edge for years. The US promised to bring order, security, and a fresh start for Venezuelans. But let's be real, this is no simple rescue mission. The situation is tangled, risky, and full of unknowns. Every move is being watched, every decision scrutinized. The US military is now acting as landlord, security guard, and property manager for an entire nation. They're not just keeping the peace, they're running the show, from oil fields to city streets. The world is left asking, how long is a while? What's the real endgame? Allies and rivals alike are scrambling to figure out what this bold move means for the balance of power. Because, let's be honest, major interventions are never just about what's on the press release. There's always more beneath the surface. Hidden motives, secret deals, and long-term strategies at play. The real story, as always, is buried deep, quite literally, underground. Venezuela's vast oil reserves have long been a prize, and now, they're at the center of a global power struggle. Welcome to the new year, where geopolitics just got a lot messier. The world is watching, and the next chapter is about to be written. One that could reshape the future for millions. The US government's official line is clear. This intervention is about fighting dangerous drug cartels, restoring democracy, and helping the Venezuelan people reclaim their freedom. At every press conference, officials stress the humanitarian angle, painting a picture of noble intentions and global responsibility. But beneath the surface, there's a far more pragmatic motive at play: oil. The reality is, when it comes to foreign policy, resources often speak louder than rhetoric. Venezuela's vast oil wealth is simply too tempting to ignore. With over 300 billion barrels, Venezuela holds the world's largest proven oil reserves, more than Saudi Arabia, more than Iran. Whoever controls this oil controls a major lever of global energy and economic power. President Trump made no secret of his intentions. He openly declared that the US would take charge of Venezuela's oil, referencing the country's history of nationalizing American assets, and the need to protect US interests. The plan is straightforward: bring back American oil companies, rebuild Venezuela's crumbling oil infrastructure, and re-establish a profitable partnership that benefits US corporations. At the heart of it all is a drive to ensure American interests are not just protected, but prioritized, making sure the US is at the center of Venezuela's oil future. This intervention is less about lofty humanitarian ideals, and more about securing vital resources, maintaining economic leverage, and projecting power on the world stage. There's also a geopolitical chess game at play. The US is determined to keep China and Russia, two of its biggest rivals, out of Venezuela's oil fields and away from the Western Hemisphere. By reasserting dominance in the region, the US sends a clear message: the Western Hemisphere remains America's backyard, and outside powers are not welcome. Another key goal is to protect the supremacy of the US dollar. By ensuring Venezuelan oil is traded in greenbacks, Washington safeguards its currency's global dominance and economic influence. In many ways, this is a modern-day Monroe Doctrine, enforced not just with diplomatic pressure, but with military might and economic muscle. The stakes extend far beyond Venezuela's borders. This is about shaping the future of global power, waging currency wars, and determining who will control the world's energy supply in the decades to come. Whoever holds the keys to Venezuela's oil isn't just influencing one country, they're shaping the balance of power for the entire planet. This intervention is more than a regional conflict. It's a warning shot to global rivals, and a demonstration of American resolve. It's also a reminder to the world that, for now, America still calls the shots when it comes to oil, money, and power. But with so many interests colliding, the fallout could be seismic, reshaping not just Venezuela, but the entire global order. Why risk so much? Why would anyone willingly step into a situation that's so fraught with uncertainty, danger, and political headaches? The answer isn't just about profit, it's about power, influence, and securing a future in a world where energy is everything. Because Venezuela's oil is the grand prize, more than Saudi Arabia, Russia, and the US combined. It's a staggering amount, a resource so vast that it has the potential to shift the balance of global energy for generations. 17% of the world's known oil is under Venezuelan soil. That's nearly a fifth of the planet's entire supply sitting beneath one country, waiting to be tapped. Most of it is heavy, sour crude, perfect for US Gulf Coast refineries, which were built for this exact type. These refineries are some of the most advanced in the world, designed specifically to handle oil that other countries can't easily process. With Canada selling more oil to China, the US needs a new, reliable source. The old supply lines are shifting, and America can't afford to be left behind as global demand grows and competition heats up. Securing Venezuela means decades of supply for American refineries and leverage over global oil prices. It's not just about filling tanks, it's about shaping the future of energy markets and maintaining a strategic edge. If the US can revive production, it could flood the market, reshape energy geopolitics, and put America back in the driver's seat. The stakes are enormous, and the potential rewards could redefine the world's energy landscape. This isn't just about cheap gas, it's about controlling the world's most important commodity. Whoever controls oil, controls the tempo of the global economy, and that's a power few are willing to give up. The gamble? That the payoff will be worth the chaos. That the risks, the political battles, and the technical challenges will all be justified by the prize at the end. But turning potential into reality won't be easy. The infrastructure is aging, the politics are volatile, and the technical hurdles are immense. The oil is there, but getting it out's another story. It's a story of risk, reward, and the relentless pursuit of energy dominance. A story that's only just beginning. Here's the catch. Venezuela's oil industry is in ruins. Years of corruption, neglect, and political meddling have gutted production, now less than a third of its peak. Infrastructure is ancient, pipelines are crumbling, and the state oil company, PDVSA, is a shell of its former self. Experts say it'll take at least $58 billion just to get back to old output levels. US oil companies are wary. They've been burned before, and the risks are sky high. Legal guarantees, security, and a stable government are all missing pieces. Reviving the industry is a marathon, not a sprint. Analysts predict a decade of investment before real results. Anyone expecting a quick oil windfall will be disappointed. The challenge is massive and the timeline is long. The US may have seized the keys, but the engine barely runs. So, what's the US strategy? It's a high-stakes corporate rescue, backed by military muscle. The Trump administration told US oil giants, invest big in Venezuela, and you'll get paid back from future oil profits. Chevron and others are expected to pour in billions. Rebuild from scratch, and get reimbursed as oil flows. The US will oversee the transition, overhaul PDVSA, and provide security. The goal isn't nation building, it's resource building. Get the oil pumping, stabilize the economy, and hope prosperity trickles down. But it's a risky bet. American companies are now on the front lines, and the US government is directly managing Venezuela's most vital asset. If the oil revival fails, so does the whole plan. The markets reacted instantly. Oil prices dipped on hopes of future supply, while Chevron's stock soared, making it the big corporate winner. But gold and silver surged, signaling global anxiety. Investors fear ballooning US deficits and the risk of a global move away from the dollar. The intervention is meant to protect the petrodollar, but it's also making the world nervous about American overreach. For now, the US can force oil sales in dollars, propping up its currency. But the aggressive move could push rivals to accelerate de-dollarization. The world is split. Wall Street celebrates, while everyone else buys insurance. The paradox: America's show of strength could undermine the very system it's trying to save. The stakes are enormous and the risks are real. The dollar's future just got a lot shakier. China and Russia see the US move as a direct threat and a call to action. The intervention will push them closer, accelerating their efforts to bypass the dollar and build alternative financial systems. China, holding vast US debt, now has more reason to dump treasuries, raising US borrowing costs. For the global south, the message is clear: relying on the dollar is risky when the US can seize assets or even countries. The world is splitting in two: America's sphere, and a BRICS-led bloc building a parallel system. Venezuela is now the front line in a new global divide. The intervention could be the catalyst that finally convinces the world to move away from US dominance. The global order is fracturing, and Venezuela is the fault line. The consequences will echo far beyond Caracas. Venezuela is now ground zero in a global power struggle. Best case, US investment revives the oil industry, wealth returns, and the country stabilizes. Worst case, a costly, drawn-out occupation breeds resentment and insurgency, turning Venezuela into another quagmire. For ordinary Venezuelans, hope is fragile, and the future uncertain. The world is watching. Will America's gamble secure its dominance or accelerate its decline? Venezuela's fate is a test for the new world order. The next chapter is unwritten, and the stakes couldn't be higher.